Hello, my name is Christy Godwin, and I'm a psychic medium. I'm here today with my friend Patty, and she has had a reading with me, and she was kind enough to agree to discuss that reading with me. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, when you scheduled the meeting, we're friends now, but when you scheduled the meeting, didn't know me and I didn't know you. We had never heard of each other. What made you bite the bullet and schedule that first meeting?
To be honest, I went through and looked, read, listened to a lot of your podcasts, listened to them. Very interesting, very intriguing. I knew you were the real deal and was very excited about scheduling a reading with you.
Thank you. I think that's so nice to hear because sometimes you schedule, you hope your personality is coming through on recordings, but you just.
Yours absolutely does.
Thank you. Thank you. And had you had a reading before the one with me?
Yes, I had a reading a couple years ago with Rebecca Rosen.
Oh, yes.
And I tell you what, it was absolutely awesome. She did a great job. I would put you two in the peer categories. You did just as an outstanding job as she did.
Thank you. You know, it's funny that you're the third person that's told me that in about a week. And to be compared to her, I'll take it. I'll take it any day of the week.
And you should, because that is absolute. You have a blessing and a gift and are willing to take the time to share with other people. And that is absolutely outstanding.
Thank you. And, you know, I do so appreciate and I'm humbled when I do get to share what I do with other people. And sometimes my family can even say things to me because when people are in distress, sometimes they will, I need a reading right now. I need a reading right now. And I will go out of my normal business hours to give them a reading. And sometimes my family will say things about it, but I just feel like when you are connected to the other side, there is such comfort in the fact that life goes on. Life doesn't end, it transitions. And when people see that, you know, and I am humbled and feel blessed to be able to help people with that. Now, during the reading, you didn't know this beforehand, but I was getting set up, getting ready to get on camera with you. Didn't know you, you know, and there's always this great fear. What if I sit down and no one comes through? So as I'm getting ready, I'm setting up my computer, I start feeling kind of enclosed, and I look up. And there's all these people. And I had other readings that day besides you. And I thought, oh, wow, okay, we're going to have a busy day, not realizing that all those people were just for Patty.
Yeah, that's very true. I have a lot of people that have passed over.
Which is, makes my job easier. Unfortunate for you, but, you know, makes my job easy. But they just came through so beautifully. And during this reading, who was the relative that surprised, or who was the person that surprised you the most that came through?
Wow, this time there was a lot of surprises. Probably Debbie Enholm was probably my biggest surprise. Glad to hear from her. Glad to see that she is doing well on the other side. And it really gave a validation of what happened to her.
Yes. Yes, there were so many. I was trying to think, but because I remember specifically someone, because at the end of all readings, I will ask, is there someone that you wanted to come through who didn't? And then, as Patty knows, I'll explain to the rest of you, you just give me their name, and then I try to call them forward. Now, sometimes they come forward immediately. Yesterday in my reading, one of my readings, the person came forward immediately. Sometimes it's like, because I'm then opening the floodgates, I have to kind of, okay, nope, it's not you. Okay, it's not you. And that happened. Like you had so many people over there. I described a couple of people and it's like, okay, forget it. Now remember someone with a car and you said, yes, he is connected to the person you wanted to come through. And
yes.
I thought that was very funny because the person with the car wanted to be recognized.
Yes. Isn't that amazing? I mean, you absolutely know. You know, I am a firm believer the spirits are out there and they do give enough clues, you know, enough indication of who they are so you can truly validate if that person is for you and exactly who it is.
You know, and it's so funny whenever that happens. And I don't even know half the time what I'm saying. I will say what I'm getting. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And then, of course, the other person that's sitting will either cry or it's like, oh my goodness, yes. And that happened whenever that person with the car came up. You were like, yes, they're connected. And sure enough, so then the person that you had called, I was trying to call forward, was with them. But
Yes.
the person with the car come forward first because he wanted to be recognized. And people, spirit on the other side knows when I'm closing it, because I read you for a lot. It was like over 2 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a very long time. But again, it seemed like it was 30 minutes just because it just flowed so easily.
I do get that a lot. I was on the phone with, actually, it was a friend of mine, and we were just kind of talking. She started asking me questions. I was like, girl, I have a meeting come up and I have to get something to eat. She looked at the, oh my goodness, I had no idea. It felt like it was 10 minutes. It was, 2 hours later.
And that's exactly what I did. I had no idea that the time it just sailed by.
And I can't always do that, but if I have another meeting bumping up against it, but if I, do have the time, I do keep bringing them forward and just so happened you were, I don't know, how to break that day or something. I can't remember, but anyway, I had that time with you, and they just kept coming forward, and I just kept bringing them. And honestly, as a medium, to me, that's a lot of fun.
Well, that's great because it is so down to earth. It is so humbling for the people receiving the messages that that you have such a gift and you're willing to share that with others. And it can be life-changing for people who are truly searching and looking for a specific answer.
Thank you. Yes, I do so love it. I know yesterday I had a reading, and again, it was a long one. 8 people had come through, had them lined up. It was like a family reunion. So fun.
Love it.
It's the same with you. And so for people that have never had a reading, how that works is I start with whoever steps forward first. And do you remember who stepped forward first for you? Do you remember who it was?
Gosh, I believe the person that stepped forward this time, I think it was my mother.
Okay.
It was my mother.
And so then I start building off of them for people.
Yep.
I'll start with the mom, whoever steps forward first. And I was like, okay, well, who are you there with? And they will bring forward someone. I was like, okay, who are you there with? And then if it's not connected, I'll see someone, because I think that did happen to you. There was a couple of people that weren't really connected to your family that came forward, and they came in a different angle. I was like, oh, we have someone else stepping up here.
Yes.
That is.
Yes.
Yes. Friends step forward. Sometimes people that you kind of have to, you're surprised. You're like,
yes,
we just met for such a short time, and on here on earth, and sometimes it's surprising to see them.
Absolutely. That would have been my friend Damien that I worked with for a very short time, but he validated exactly what happened to him and took responsibility and ownership for it.
And a lot of readings are about that. People come forward, and they, even though that you have, on this earth, you've passed forgiveness over to the other side, and they know you have, sometimes they still want to step forward to validate. Yes, this did happen. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm taking responsibility and ownership. And it's part of the healing on the other side also.
Correct.
So what was the main thing that came out of the reading that had you like, oh, that you were just shocked over?
First of all, I'm always shocked at the number of people that do come forward. I mean, it is. I love hearing the messages. Some of the things that they say and do, they're absolutely connected with you on a daily basis. They know what you're doing, what you have done. It's absolutely wonderful. Probably the one that was shocking to me the most was Debbie Enholm. And again, so grateful to hear from her. She was a very, very dear and close friend. So just knowing that she did not suffer, and she is very happy on the other side, and a very good soul, that just warmed my heart.
That is always so healing whenever it's a lot of worry when you see people on the side and how they're suffering, and what that passing actually looks like for them. And it's just so, it gives you such peace to know.
It does.
Something that it just popped into my head as I was talking to you. So as I had mentioned, Patty and I became friends later after her first reading. And so I just have to, poor Patty, because she will take me places. She knows where this is going. Because I'm apologizing now because we were with some friends, and this one particular friend, we won't mention her because I don't have her permission to mention her. But so the first time I was with Patty and these other friends, this one lady, every time I was around her, this lady in a wheelchair was in spirit. The lady was in spirit running around her on this wheelchair. I didn't say anything because, you know, Patty, here she is bringing her crazy medium friend to her other friends. I didn't want to, you know, make Patty feel uncomfortable. Then the next time we had met somewhere and then we're carpooling. So it's me, Patty, and another person in the car, the same person with the lady in the wheelchair. And so I just can't take it. I'm telling this lady, I'm having this conversation in my head with the lady in spirit, like, no, I'm not saying anything. We're here having fun. I don't know how she's going to take it. I'm not saying. So finally I just turned, I said, I'm sorry. If you want me to shut up, I will. And I describe who this lady is. And she says, oh, that's my aunt. And I was like, no, well, she keeps sticking pies in my face. Then we discovered it was her mother. And so I want to apologize to my poor friend Patty, who can't take me anywhere without me bringing through spirits from the other side.
And I said, go for it. You know what? That was one of the most life-changing for that friend that you can even imagine. It was heartwarming. Probably a lot of it too, because her mom, I never knew her mother had passed so many years ago. And for her mother to apologize about being gone so early, and for this person the mother to say, quit feeling guilty.
Yes.
And she said, I do feel guilty. I've had all these years with my dad and not with my mom. I mean, not with my mom. It was totally, totally life-changing for her. It was the best gift. Like she said, this was the best Christmas gift I could have ever gotten.
Oh, I just got chills. That's so sweet to hear because, you know, I'm friends with Patty, and this person I know, but we're not acquaintances and talk all the time. And also one of her puppies that had passed, I kept saying, okay, so now with your mom, there's this like a little white dog running around. And she's like, oh my goodness. And she named the dog who it was. And her mom, I had forgotten, but her mom did have some heartfelt messages and just appreciation for how her daughter, who I was reading, has gone through her life. And I think,
yeah, remember she said she was with her every step of the way. There's been ups and downs. She has had a very adventurous life.
yes.
And she just the roller coaster ride, and that is to a T. She nailed it to a T. And she expressed to my friend, she has been with her. Her mother has been with her every day, every step of this journey and her adventure. Yes.
And you know, she did appreciate her daughter's adventurous spirit and how much fun in life she's lived. And when I give these messages, I also will, because I was telling her the message from her mom. And when her mom said, well, I've been with her every step of the way, I was like, okay, prove it. And then her mom did tell me some things that she had witnessed her daughter doing along the way that I never would have known.
Yeah.
So spirit.
Every one of them was true.
Yes. I was a little bit envious of her life when I was like, man, you have had some fun. But spirit is very good about stepping forward and proving who they are. They're very good. They know that I am not going to pass on messages. And if it's not resonating, if you can't place who it is, I just keep telling spirit on those, like, give me more until it clicks with you. Oh yes, that's who it is. And for the gal who was riding in the car with us, it was the pie. Like her mom knew, okay, she thinks I'm her aunt. I'm not the aunt. So she just kept putting these pies in my face. I was kind of ignoring it, but she just kept putting pies and pies. And finally I turned and said, she's putting a pie in my face. I don't know what it is about this pie, but, and then she asked her mom, because her mom was known for making pies.
For making pies. And Christmas time, love Christmas time. So it was truly the message. Yeah, the Christmas time.
Yes, that did come.
What about when we were driving back and my friend kept talking about a person she had a relationship with, and very, very, very good friends. And she kept talking about different stories and this and that. And all of a sudden you turned around and said, why, when you talk about this person, do I always see cement?
Yeah.
And that's about when I crashed the car.
I had forgotten about that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yes. And the reason for that, for folks out there that don't know, this person had a very dear loved one that she was very connected to that just 2 months ago had unfortunately passed in a accident where he was driving a cement truck. Hence the reason every time my friend talked about this person, all Christy could see was cement.
Yes. And again, it was one of those things where I kept blowing it off, but every time she mentioned his name, I was like, okay, this means something. And
Yes.
it got the best out of me. And
Absolutely. Very,
I,
very, very life-changing for her and very touching.
oh, that's so good to hear. I also appreciate how tolerant Patty is of taking me places and
Paige, you're seeing lots of new places, and you know what? You've got a special gift. If you are can and willing to help others, I absolutely love seeing the heartwarming, comforting stories that that can be life-changing for people.
yes, thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. And I look forward to our many adventures together and your tolerance of me. Thank you again for sharing your story and being here.
Well, thank you. And I would tell anybody who's out there that is hesitant, questionable, uncertain, look and listen to some of Christy's podcast. And more importantly, get your appointment scheduled.
Thank you. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact me at ChristyGodwin111 at gmail.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.